like my pizza example, it's a little bit weird, and it stands out from the crowd. So that's what I'm going to talk to you today, is how your company's brand can stand out in a crowd. So why is this important? Well, did you know that on your way to work today, you encountered over 1,500 different brands? And if you went to the grocery store, over 30,000 different brands. So standing out is even more important than ever. What I want to do is explain this in the context of Waldo. Now, if you are a child of the 80s, yeah, you know this guy, right? At first, he seems like he would stand out because he's got this obnoxious red and white outfit with these blue pants. But the irony of his situation is that in his own world, in the land of Waldo's, he actually blends in. Now, I've helped you out here with a big giant clue. That's where he's located. But if you didn't know that, it would probably be tough to find him. So what if we applied this same, we've dubbed this the Waldo paradox, what if we applied this to branding? What if all brands were Waldo's? What if they were the same? How would your purchasing decisions be made? How would you know the difference between a high-quality product or a low-quality product? Your favorite brand of cola versus maybe your secondary choice? Well, luckily, the marketing and advertising worlds have taken care of this for you, and this does not exist currently, but they've branded the heck out of everything. They make sure that their brand stands out so that when you go through those 30,000 different brands, you can grab the one that you want. How can we emulate this same behavior? How can we borrow that same strategy and make our own company's brand or our own product stand out from the crowd? Well, I think that there's three things that we can do. The first is be weird. You got to be different, and you got to stand out from, or think outside the box to stand out in the crowd. Those are going to help your brand stand out amongst all those others that are out there. So the first thing I want you to think about is being weird. Some of your most favorite brands are probably weird. Think about some of your most favorite brands. Are they a little bit arbitrary? Maybe they're completely made up. Maybe they suggest something about the brand, but they don't give it away. Think about Apple. It's completely arbitrary when you think of it in terms of a computer, but it's super successful because it's weird. Who would have thought that apples would be so successful? I mean, is the computer edible? I don't think so. You could try. What about Snuggie? Did you get one for Christmas? I did. Thanks. Why did it stick out? It's weird, right? Would you have bought it if it was called a backwards robe? I don't think so. The second thing you got to do is you got to be different. Have you ever tried to find a business or a company in the phone book, or have you ever tried to find somebody on Twitter, what if their name was John Smith? It's tough to do, unless their name is a little bit different. Now, what if their name was Blunkborf? Hey, that would be easier to find because it's different, it's unusual. So think of this in another context. I invited a friend of mine to meet me for lunch. I invited her to meet me at Cafe 7. She actually ended up at Cafe 501, and she was not very happy when I told her she was going to have to drive across town to meet me for lunch. The problem there is that the company names sound similar. So you want to make sure that your business and your company's brand is different. Don't be the Waldo. You got to think outside the box. This is the last point. The best brands, in my experience, are the ones that are a little bit outside the box. They stand out from the crowd. They're creative and unusual. They're far from generic. Let's think of this in terms of an example. This is a square cube watermelon. They actually make these in Japan. Let's suppose that it took off in the United States and we decided to form a company, all of us here, to make these watermelons. What should we call ourselves? What about the watermelon farm? It's kind of generic. How about AAA watermelons? Well, you might find us first in the phone book, but I mean, that may be the only value in that brand. What if we called ourselves the Whatchamamelon Farms? That's weird. Or what about a square peg in a round farm? That's a little different. What if we just went totally random and called ourselves the Thing Company? We sold these square watermelons. That's a little bit outside the box, and people might remember that. So what I want you to take away from today is to create a brand that you can protect and that people can find. Be weird, be different, think outside the box. Don't get caught up in the Waldo paradox. So take that with you today, and I thank you for your time. Again, my name is Emily Campbell. Follow me on Twitter at Emily E. Campbell. Thank you.